We're going to do a videotape of Edna Levine, and we're going to chronicle her life. She's there in front of you. What do you have to say about that, Edna? I've been wanting to do this for a long time, you know.
Oh, there's so much to go back and remember. I do remember a lot. I remember things when I was like 4 years old. I remember the First World War.
Really?
And I remember how we were running from place to place, hiding from bullets.
Were there planes then?
No,
planes,
there
no.
were no cannons shooting and no planes. No, they didn't have the planes.
And where was this?
That was, of course, in Poland.
In the village? Is this where you were born?
Yeah, yeah. We had to leave our house because it seems that they had designated battlefields, and that little village was supposed to be it. So they told us just to take whatever we could carry, and very important. So people, with all the excitement, they used to take, I don't remember what my mother took. Of course you took some food, but some people took such an unimportant thing in excitement, like they would take a clock off the wall, as if they couldn't live without it. Enough already.
No, keep going. Who told you to get out of the town? Or, no, the village?
Officials.
And where was everybody going?
They didn't tell you where to go, just get out, clear that area. And we had a house, and I don't even remember whether they ever repatriated that, you know? We just left, and we kept going from place to place, hundreds of people. Actually, nobody knew where to go. And I remember I was the youngest in the family. I was maybe 4 years old. And
no, you were probably more like 6. This was 1917?
1914.
Oh yeah, only 3.
When the war started. And I remember walking, my father was holding my hand, and every time a bullet would pass, he would cover me with his coat. He tried to protect me from the bullets, so he'd cover me with his coat. And then we just slept in some town, and on the way out I forgot to put my shoes on, so I was running barefoot, and it was cold, so everybody had to carry me. I remember all these things. It's amazing.
But when did you go back? You went back, right?
We never went back to that place again, never.
You never went back to your home?
Well, the home was totally destroyed.
So
and
you ended up on another farm?
Well, we lived on a farm, but we didn't own a farm. First of all, Jews couldn't own any land at that time. You know, Jews were always a privileged group of people, very much so. Anyway, eventually, then we stayed in some places months, some years. Eventually, we ended up in a city. That's where I spent the rest of my time until I came to America.
What about that priest you once told me about?
Who?
The priest that your father was friends with?
Yes, this was in one of the villages we lived. He was I remember him. And that poor man, he had nobody of his own to speak to. They were all illiterate people. So he and my father got acquainted, and they used to sit for hours and discuss the Bible. He spoke Hebrew, this priest. It was really surprising that he was stuck in a little town like that. And, you know, when they had funerals, the Christian people had funerals, so the priest would walk in front, and then there was they carried the casket, and he had to like pray. So my father would be standing outside more or less like greeting him, and he would say something to my father in Hebrew. And in that singing way, so like the people thought that he was praying, but actually he was saying something to my father. That was so nice. They used to spend a lot of afternoons together. So.
Okay, we'll stop for now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
When, like, if I would be going someplace to our next house, they taught me, if you hear bullets, drop to the floor. And I did, every time I heard a bullet. And there was a lot of skirmishes, you know. And also, like when the war was more or less in our area stopped, so these hooligans, the teenagers they would find ammunition and guns, and they would go out looting. And I remember they once came to our house. We didn't have so very much, but I had a new skirt my mother made for Passover, I think, and they took that skirt, and I was heartbroken. They took everything they could, and they took that little skirt of mine.
Are we to the part yet where she drives over all the neighbors' yards?
No.
Oh, okay, that comes later.
What's that? You know, going back to Poland, as I said, I came here in 1930. I was 19 years old when I came here. And going back to Poland, as long as I can remember, I wanted to get out of Poland very desperately, because anti-Semitism was, in as young as I was, ever since I would say like 10, 12, 13 years old, I felt the anti-Semitism. And I didn't want to stay in Poland at all. I wanted to get out. And I didn't expect to come to America because there was a quota. So I thought I'd go to Palestine. This is before Israel came to existence. And I joined the Zionist organization, learned Hebrew, getting ready to go to Palestine.
Did it make it any easier to come here because